This is how the Egyptian God of War saga is going to kick off. Before I get started, you need to listen to the whole video and everything is going to make sense by the end. So, stay a while and listen. An Egyptian god is going to unalive Atreus, and here's why. Kratos is a level-headed, diplomatic god who will avoid conflict wherever possible. It's going to take a lot to put him back on the warpath again, and it will take even more to turn him back into the god of vengeance we knew from the original God of War trilogy. Quick rant. A lot of people keep trying to argue that the Norse saga was the end of Kratos' story, and that is simply not the truth. Santa Monica is in the business of making money with their games, and while Atreus is a fun and enjoyable supporting character, the God of War franchise has Kratos as the centerpiece and always will. He is the cash cow of this whole franchise. If they ever tried to make Atreus the main character and put Kratos on the sideline, it would be the end of this IP as we know it. Moving on. The Norse saga of the God of War games was Santa Monica's unique spin on the real mythological tale of Ragnarok. So it only makes sense that if we go to Egypt, that they're gonna do the same thing when it comes to the Egyptian civil war involving the gods Set and Horus. You see, this is Set, and in Egyptian mythology, he performs a coup where he takes out his brother Osiris, who is the god of resurrection and can bring people back to life. That's important later. Then, he fights Horus, the rightful heir of Osiris, over who gets to be the ruler of Egypt. But what would all this have to do with Kratos and Atreus? Well, this is where things get fun. Atreus, having inherited the prophetic powers of foresight from his mother, will have a vision of him and his father in Egypt. Given that his visions are always cryptic and lack a straightforward answer, he'll head off to Egypt and search for what the meaning behind this vision is, with his wife Angrboda in tow. This is where Set sees his opportunity to put plans in motion that can secure him the throne of Egypt. At this point in time, every other pantheon in existence is going to be well aware of the God of War who took down two separate realms of gods. As a matter of fact, in the comic, God of War, Fallen God, Kratos does stop in Egypt for a brief time where he battles a couple of beasts and meets one Egyptian god, who's not important at this point in time, and they are not only aware of him, but they're afraid of him. And this all happens before he even makes it to Midgard and takes down a whole other pantheon. So, by the time that Atreus gets to Egypt searching for these answers, they are all going to be aware of the offspring of the god that slaughtered two pantheons. I would imagine in the world of gods, that's some, important need-to-know kind of stuff. Now, back to Set. Upon Atreus' arrival in Egypt, he'll present himself as a friendly guide, looking to help Atreus find the answers he seeks. Set is the Egyptian god of chaos, and what does Kratos bring with him in plentiful amounts whenever he's on a warpath of vengeance towards other gods? That's right, chaos. Set is not only aware of that, but he's counting on it. Now he just needs to give Kratos a spark to get started, and he's got the perfect thing to do that. After earning the trust of Atreus and Angrboda, he'll betray Atreus when he finds himself alone with him, and then he'll also take out his brother Osiris. Then he's going to make it look like the two got into a scuffle with each other and they took each other out, leaving him out of the equation. He'll plant evidence for Angrboda to find, further enforcing the concept that Osiris and Loki took each other out, and then he'll tell her that she needs to run and inform Kratos as he's the only one who can help. Knowing that she's in over her head, she's going to do exactly that. She'll run back to Midgard and inform Kratos of what happened, where she'll get scolded for not telling him they were going to Egypt. And of course they didn't tell him they were going to Egypt because he would have just told them not to meddle in the affair of other gods, and we know how Loki feels about his dad telling him what to do. Now aware of the fact that his son could be in danger or already beyond that point, he heads to Egypt to confirm what's going on for himself. And upon arriving, he will learn that Atreus is in fact in the grasps of the Egyptian underworld and out of his reach. This is where Kratos snaps. The thought of losing his child again to the hands of a god, he is going to revert back to the god of vengeance from the original trilogy, and Set is going to get him on his side by promising him that if they can win the war against Horus, they can take back the power of resurrection that Osiris held and use it to release Atreus from the grasp of his underworld. So, Blinded by a dedication and love for his son, Kratos plunges ahead, taking out any god that stands in his way of getting Atreus back.